Everybody, welcome back to the channel, and here we are at the Luchtvaartmuseum Aviodrome. Everybody, the FS weekend is of course today, and we're gonna have a look at some very interesting new hardware products. You may remember WinWing, which kind of debuted their airliner hardware for the flight simulators last year, and let me tell you, they have been in the kitchen cooking up some new stuff for us.
Yes, everybody, welcome to FS Weekend indeed, the convention that has less females than a hair transplant clinic. It happens every year here in Lelystad of the Netherlands, and it's kind of, you know, the event where flight simulator companies show what they've got in mind for the year. Yes, lots of presentations are being done. Let's have a look at the interesting hardware that WinWing announced here in the weekend.
And in our 2025 product roadmap, we will be rolling out some really cool stuff here.
I mean, last year we talked about the WinWing autopilot products on the channel. Those are, I mean, we all know about them by now, as well as the MCU for the Airbus A320. People love them, and honestly, I didn't expect that here at the FliteSim weekend, WinWing would show any other products because they have been so busy, you know, coming up with their autopilot panels. But they did yesterday come up with this one, everybody, the Throttle quadrant.
Introducing there's a minor airline throttle.
And let me tell you, it is really interesting. First of all, we have very nice metal handles with proper detents. I mean, let's be real and compare this to the Thrustmaster throttle, which I even have. And first of all, that one is much smaller. It does not have the very impressive backlighting right here. Yes, you can see that authentic. And well, it doesn't have the proficiency that this one has. Look, I mean, in order to put the flaps down, for example, on the Thrustmaster one, you just push it down. Here, you have to pull up this flap lever to release it and then set the flaps. This is of course nice because you won't accidentally change your flap configuration if you hit it. You have to kind of unlock it, so that is very nice, as well as the parking brake. You can't just, twist it. That doesn't work. You have to pull and then twist. Same thing here on the spoilers. Alright, you have to push it down, this one, put it down, and so that is very nice on the feels. Same thing goes along here. I mean, compare this once again to the Thrustmaster throttle. You just push it, right? But here you have to pull it up, unlock it, and then push it. And don't even get me started here on the feel of the throttle. You have these different levels. For example, here is the climb mode, and you can see really as it locks into the different throttle configurations. So there you go. That's flex takeoff and toga. So I like how these levels really, you can feel that kind of change. Of course, the same applies to the reverse thrust. You have to pull that up to get that going. Now, you may wonder, what is the pricing on this? And I wonder the same. I bet it's going to be quite fair. $130, and for this one, we're talking about something really crazy here. Let's maybe do a bit of a test flight, though.
So $230 for the lot seems quite good now. I think it's going to be interesting how they will ship this out. This is quite a, huge setup now. It's a 1-to-1 product in terms of the sizing. I wonder how you would mount this on your desk somehow. Will they put a stand with this? That's going to be interesting to find out.
And of course, we're also now using the famous minor joystick here of WinWing, which is really nice. It has this vibration motor, and it's only, what, $69? Am I right? Alright, so what I'm doing now is going to be a crazy maneuver. We're just going to see what the fly-by-wire system of the A320 has to offer to us. Why am I doing this? Right now I can feel vibration in that stick. It's shaking, stick shaker is working, and that is really a nice touch. I mean, this joystick is $69 once again. There's right now an airplane lining up, but we've got priority, doesn't it? We are very much quite fast. Here's already the threshold. I'm not very much doing this well here on this landing. But yes, I just wanted to feel that stick shake, to be honest, as well. Let's do a long landing, no worries at all. We can do max braking on the Phoenix, and I can feel the touchdown. I mean, you can't feel it, of course, in the video. That joystick, once again, vibrating. Reversers out, brakes full. So I like how WinWing over the years, I guess, are they coming up with a full A320 cockpit?
And here is a 2-seat full cockpit along with our upcoming new releases that we hope we can get them ready to see you at June.
Yes, this year will be interesting. We can see VHF panel here. We can see the panels next to the autopilot panel. You know what I mean? And a whole two-seater. When is the overhead panel coming?
When can we expect to be able to pre-order this, I wonder?
Hard to say, but
Hard to say?
I think FS Expo will be interesting.
All right. Well, we gotta wait for June. That's when the FS Expo in Rhode Island is happening. I guess that's when we get a bit, more news about this new throttle, which we can perhaps pre-order for our very fair price that we already know. I mean, right now, for example, here, this is just for demonstration purposes. This whole panel is not functional just yet. You can see that because there is no backlight. This panel is gonna have backlight just like this one does, of course. And also even this screen here of the rudder trim of the Airbus A320 is going to work. So I cannot wait for that. It's going to be a very interesting year for WinWing yet again. I like how year after year we're maybe just going to see a whole A320 cockpit to be built by WinWing. That's great. But, yesterday at the presentation of the FS Weekend, we saw even more things that we're going to check out now. Now we're moving on from the A320 to the new Cyber Taurus series, which has been announced, which means force feedback hardware, force feedback joysticks, force feedback yoke. Look at this thing right here. This is of course a 737 type yoke. Now, obviously, I can feel a bit of resistance here in that yoke, and you can even adjust the resistance right here. This is still a big demo. We don't even know the price. It's to be announced of this 737 yoke setup. But I mean, I can turn up the damper. Is that right? Damper and the spring. That's right here for the clipboard. Look at how cool that is. You can put like checklets here, and you can feel how the damper makes a difference. This is now a bit lighter. There's the spring resistance. Oh yeah, spring's a lot less. Look at how it even stays here. Obviously there's a big motor in this thing here, which controls the movement here of this yoke. I've always struggled with yokes for flight simulators, to be honest. Why? Because they're all a bit light. Looking at, for example, the honeycomb yoke, you can kind of shake that even a little bit. It's not very realistic. If you're in a real Boeing 737, it's like a gym workout. It's fitness, really. Look, and we're working out the back. And this is what I like to see. I like a very good resistant yoke right here. Just move, look at me try to move the aileron right here. That is quite a lot of force that has to be used, and that is realistic on the 737. And I can't wait for summer. Maybe we'll know a little bit more about this. I'm not sure, but this is definitely going to be quite an amazing product. Everybody, it's alive. It is alive. Everybody, this is the Cyber Taurus Joystick series that WinWing announced yesterday as well, which is also force feedback. Can you see this crazy big motor here? So there are apparently 3 different models of this. This is, for example, the lighter version right here. This is a powerful version, and this is an even more powerful version with different outputs of newtons. What is do you know the newton output on this?
This one is 16.
16? Wow, okay.
This one is 60.
16.
60.
And this one, is that 20?
I think that's the 20.
I think the desk will give up before the joystick. That is pretty nice. What airplane do you see this for in use for? What is that, for example, military grade airplanes, I imagine. Yeah, nothing good.
The higher forces are going to be more for use with the force feedback rather than a setting as a specific plane, I think.
Right.
If you're in a steep dive in a warbird and you're having to pull out.
Yeah.
Now we all know force feedback hardware is always expensive. I mean, the 20 Newton meter version, just the base without any joystick, costs $414, whereas the 60 Newton meters, which by the way, once again is a lot, is $700. Once again, without a joystick. Now these are hardly ever really cheap, even when WinWing does it. But there's even more force feedback. WinWing also announced a rudder pedal that is force feedback as well for $800. Now they couldn't show it because their demo broke.
All right, now moving on from consumer to prosumer. On the channel, we've talked talked a lot about FliteSim.com before. I have their CLS60 force feedback yoke, which is really amazing. It shakes around. It's a bit of a workout to fly your airplane, which is exactly how it is in real life. Now, yesterday, they have come up with a new product, and that is their force feedback rudder. And I'm here with Fabian.
Hey guys.
This is Fabian from FliteSim.com, and he's going to tell us all about his new rudder pedal, everybody. All right, let's spawn onto the runway in a Cessna Skyhawk.
Okay.
Force feedback rudder pedal. There's probably no better airplane to try out force feedback rudder pedal than a single-engine Cessna, because you have to, give the right rudder in order for the plane not to steer off the runway. All right.
Okay.
Also, we're using the whole cockpit that FliteSim.com offers nowadays. We have the G1000 panels.
So let's start with the specifications. The COS rudder comes with a maximum peak force of, drumroll, 370 newtons. We're going to let you experience it.
Okay, let's do that. This is, by the way, this is a gym machine at this point, which,
Yeah.
the Cessna is in real life as well, so that's not bad. Again, these are really hard to push, and I can see that. Look, it's pushing me away here. This is
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes.
All right, so I guess let's do a takeoff here. Let's prepare to make that right rudder movement. All right, right rudder. Very good.
rudder.
X-Plane simulates that nicely.
Yeah.
See the yoke slowly starting to pull up.
Back, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, oh my God. Okay, abort takeoff, Jesus.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
So here we can see on the instrument, I'm trying to keep that indicator right here in the middle with my feet.
Stepping on the ball, yep.
And I can feel how there's a bit of vibration there. The Cessna 172 in real life vibrates a lot. We can feel that in the yoke, I can feel that in my feet now. And that is truly quite remarkable. You have no idea how much a good rudder system elevates your experience, really.
Now, the CLS rudder is the most expensive product here announced at the FS Weekend. It costs $1,800. The thing is, these motors do actually cost a lot of money. That is always the thing about force feedback, but this is probably the best rudder I've tried ever. So if you're rich, go ahead. It's not available. Now that's kind of all the new hardware that we could experience here at the FS Weekend, and we couldn't really experience much new software like plane add-ons either. PMDG showed their 777-200, which is slightly smaller than the 300. FliteSim Studios showed their passenger version of the Boeing 727. They had previously come up with the cargo variant. I had only one question for them.
We all know the standards of what, flight sim users expect nowadays have risen. There's only one thing that you need. Does the toilet flush?
Not currently, but maybe in future. So we have a model toilet.
If the toilet don't flush, the sails don't rush.
No.
So you need to have a working bathroom.
Yeah.
Flight Simulation 2025.
Aerosoft showed their Airbus A330neo. You remember Aerosoft was the one that really messed up their A330 release last year. For some reason on the booth, they had a yoke to show an Airbus, which is funny. They had a plant on it, which was also funny. No, I'm actually thinking the A330neo could be good, but that's very much it in terms of showcases.
So everybody, here it is, the FS Weekend 2025. Quite an exciting event. I really love the location, with all the airplanes surrounding the booths here at the exposition. We did have a few interesting announcements, mainly hardware announcement, to be honest. WinWing absolutely killing the show. FliteSim.com, a force feedback rudder, not bad at all. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and thank you to Aviation Lads who helped me film this whole big project. Check out his channel, he's gonna make a cinematic revamp. Aviation Lads makes all the trailers, like good trailers for the good aircraft. So check him out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night.
And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters, Guns Killer, R27, James DeRom, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Finder, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.